Now, if you really want to be safe while using a chainsaw 10 feet above your head, there are some other tips to keep in mind. Make sure you can see, and avoid using plugged-in power equipment when it's wet outside. Keep your cord untangled and know where it is at all times. Be sure to watch out for electrical wires, your roof, your neighbor's roof, and anything else you might accidentally touch with a 10-foot pole, especially when there's a chainsaw on the end. Only cut one limb or branch at a time, and when you're cutting a limb under tension, watch for spring back, when the branch is freed and snaps back or down right at you. Any branches you come across thicker than 8 inches, leave them to a pro. Hey, there's no shame in a little safety. When you're cutting downed limbs with your chainsaw, watch out for kickback. What is kickback? Watch this. And for more pole saw how-tos, watch these. Trees are tall. You're not. So when it comes to safely pruning tall branches and limbs, do yourself a favor and grab a pole saw. Here we have the new Remington Ranger 2. This isn't just any old pole saw. This game changer has some pretty unique features designed to make your job a whole lot easier. First, let's do a quick overview of your machine. On this model, you're going to find the guide bar and bar tip, saw chain, tension adjustment, automatic oiler, branch hook, bucking spike, and clamps. And on this end, we have the throttle control, throttle lockout, and power cord. Now that we've reviewed the basics, let's dive into the special features that make this pole saw a must-have. We've made converting your pole saw to chainsaw quick and painless. First, set the pole saw on a flat, level surface. Next, disconnect the motor assembly from the pole assembly. Then, disconnect the handle from the pole, just like this. All that's left is to connect the handle to the motor assembly. And now you've got your chainsaw. One thing to point out, instead of having a handle assembly with a front handguard and rear handle, this one has a full wrap handle with a guard. This lets you hold your saw in several different positions so you can get a more secure grip and have more control when you're taking down those branches. And because the handle is always at the bottom of the pole, you don't have to worry about the cord getting in your way or getting caught in the tree. That's working smarter and safer. Now that you're back to a pole saw, remember to use the clamps to adjust the pole to your preferred length. There you go. Watch out, branches. You're going down. When using your pole saw, it's important to check the chain tension before and during use to make sure it hasn't become loose. Adjust the tension whenever the flats on the saw chain hang out of the bar groove. If you see this, it's time for an adjustment. This model makes tightening even easier with its bar knob and chain tensioning ring. Simply turn the bar knob counterclockwise to slightly loosen the bar cover. Next, hold the guide bar tip up and then turn the chain tensioning ring clockwise. If you accidentally over-tighten the chain, just turn the ring counterclockwise a little bit. Once you find the perfect chain tension, continue holding the guide bar tip and turn the bar knob clockwise to securely tighten the bar cover. And that's it. You're ready to get back out there and trim away. If you need a refresher on how to remove and install the guide bar and saw chain, refer to your operator's manual. Unlike most other pole saws, this model has an angled power head. This helps prevent pinching and puts gravity on your side to give you a straight down cut. Like any well-oiled machine, you'll need to make sure your oil level isn't too low. Unlike other pole saws that make you push buttons to oil the chain, this model will self-lubricate for you. It works harder, so you don't have to. Now, to learn more about using and maintaining your pole saw, watch these. There's a right way and a wrong way to prune tall branches and limbs with a chainsaw, so let's cover the right way. There are two basic parts of a pole saw, a pole and a saw. Today we're using an electric pole saw, a Remington Ranger, with the front handguard, guide bar and bar tip, the saw chain oil bulb, and chain oil level window. Here we have the tension adjustment screw and the bucking spike. Then you've got the coupler and extension boom. And on this end, the power cord, rear handle, throttle control, and throttle lockout. Alright, now you know your way around your pole saw, let's talk about getting your tree limbs safely to the ground. Before you take down those gnarly limbs, gear up. Always wear heavy-duty, snug-fitting clothes, boots, eye and ear protection, gloves, and a hard hat. When you're ready to start, make sure you check your oil level and press the chain oil bulb every 10 to 30 seconds or so while cutting. That lubes your bar and chain to make cutting easier and extends the life of your equipment. Make sure your extension cord is for outdoor use and that it's plugged in. Loop the cords too. That way if one gets snagged, you won't lose power. Pole saws can draw an audience, but you gotta keep people and pets clear of your work area. It's tough to control where falling limbs land, so always stand at an angle to the limb you're working on. Give those branches a clear path to the ground. Make sure you've got a firm grip and stand in a stable position. To start it up, press and hold the throttle lockout and squeeze and hold the throttle control. With the saw running at full speed, press against the limb with light, steady pressure. No need to force it. The chain does the cutting. Stay in control as you're operating and never raise your arms over your head. Keep them at waist level for optimum stability. To stop the saw, release the throttle control, making sure the saw chain is totally stopped. After bringing down those limbs, you can detach the chainsaw and turn those former tree parts into snuggle-ready firewood. How efficient is that? Well, now you know how to keep your trees healthy. If you want to know how to keep you and your pole saw in good running shape, click one of these.
Yeah.